Good evening, known world. I am Excellency Rahmut al-Tayyiba, coming to you out of the Barony of Bronzehelm in the amazing kingdom of Artemisia, where we do it better. Before we start here, we do have a couple quick disclaimers. The views and opinions expressed are those of the participants and do not reflect any official position or policy of the SCA Inc. And warning, we will probably use some offensive language, and if not, our topics themselves may be incendiary as well. I have the privilege and the honor of having one of my good friends who's incredible beyond belief, Excellency Fiametta.
I was like, who are you talking about?
You shut your face hole. Would you like to give our audience a little bit about why you are incredible?
I mean, I drink and I know things, I guess. Is that the line, right?
No. That is the line.
Thank you. I wouldn't even know why or what I would say to say that I am amazing. But I think I said this one time in another interview. There's a lot of amazing things that I've been a part of, that I've been honored to be a part of, and a lot of amazing things that have been said for me. So I let that part go. Yeah. I don't know what else. What would you like me to say?
Let's say you're a member of the Order of the Laurel.
I am.
You've served in not only local officer positions, but kingdom officer positions.
Yep. You all that stuff, eh?
You can sing and make people cry at events.
Good cry?
Good cry.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm a Laurel. I'm court baroness. I have been playing now for 18 years. I also am in the kingdom of Artemisia, although I'm in a much more southern barony than Rahmut. I'm in the barony of Griffin's Lair, which is northern Utah. I also play in Ontir about a third of my time. And I'm a bard. I'm a herald. I have been involved in a whole lot of shenanigans over the years. So
this is true. All true.
All true.
All true. So
except for when it's not.
Well, that as well. So today we are probably going to talk about things that people may or may not want to talk about, and there are things that people may or may not have wanted to talk about but have been afraid to talk about.
Sure.
We're going to talk about maybe potentially the anti-retention.
Dun, dun, dun.
We want to jump into it, Fia?
Sure. You lead, I will follow. Let's do the thing.
So it is important to try to retain new members, existing members, longtime players, everybody in the game that we can. However, there are times when there's some people, just like in a company, that churn needs to happen.
Sure.
To help the SCA flourish and grow.
Right.
And sometimes there's really not a nice way to just flat out say, you got to go.
That's true. That's true. And I think even, and especially, I'm going to back you up just a hot minute on there too. There's even, I think at that, there's a core thing that we need to recognize. And I think a lot of people in the SCA miss this a lot, especially when we talk about retention. And this is the part that's going to hurt some feelers. And I think the SCA just kind of needs to get over this. And this is going to be hard. The SCA is not for everyone. It's just not. There are a lot of games that are similar to it. There are a lot of activities that have more checks in the plus column. There are games that are similar that are nowhere near as cost prohibitive. There are games that are easier to get into, quicker to get into. There are games that will run the gamut of either way more historically accurate and or less historically accurate. So I think the biggest thing we need to remember is the SCA is not for everyone, and we need to stop taking it personally when it's not. Because one of the things we hear all the time is that whole running retention. How can we keep people from staying? How can we keep people from leaving? Well, first of all, are we actually listening to them when they tell us why they're leaving? So even if we're not going with the people that we kind of want to get the heck out, what about the people who are leaving? Are we, SCA in general, listening to the reasons of why they're leaving?
Well, and almost like a corporation, there should be some sort of exit interview. You know,
Sure.
hey, you know, why are you leaving? You know,
Sure.
are you unsatisfied with the policies? Are you unsatisfied with, you know, kind of how people are playing? You know, are you
Sure.
unsatisfied with the structure as far as what we try to recreate or how we
Yeah.
recreate it?
Even in a manner of why are we not data mining that? And there's my analytical work side. There's those words, right? Why are we not data mining at that when people choose not to renew their memberships? You get emails, you get a thing in the mail telling you, just as a reminder, your membership's about to expire. Why are we not data mining that? And especially, why are we not doing it in a very much third party, anonymous kind of collection of information? Why are we not asking people that? Why did you choose not to extend your ownership? Why are you Iskirth is here? What's up, girl? Why are we not asking them that when they're leaving? What is it? And it literally is a combination of a lot of things we've already talked about. Like, is it the cost? Because again, the SCA is hard to get into money wise.
Yes. There's definitely a very steep financial.
Absolutely. I know a lot of times, especially I remember when I was a newcomer and I saw people that had been playing for a long, long time, and they had the stuff. They had the look. They had the garb. They had the pavilion. They had the rugs. They had the trailer, right?
The lanterns.
They have the stuff.
Bed.
And that was hard to see because obviously as a new person, I wanted to look the part and fit in with them. And I wanted this stuff. But man, like, I luckily very early on got that healthy mindset of they have spent decades accumulating this. I've been here for a year. Maybe I should chill out.
Hey, Wolfgar.
Because that's a huge deal. And I think so here's one of the things where I'm going to say it's going to make people angry, or could make people angry, is that the SCA is not always very nice about that. And when I say that, what I mean is we all talk about that we need to be welcoming. We need to understand that everybody started from someplace. We need to get, understand that it's expensive to start. Not everybody can afford the pavilion right off the bat. Nobody can do this. Okay, we say that. Not everybody agrees with it. And also, are we actually creating that atmosphere? Are we living up to it? Are we tucking earth pimples behind all the pavilions? Because yes, they wreck the dream. But now we've literally told these people who are brand new, maybe that's all they could afford was a little $200 Coleman pop-up to bring to their first war. And they're so excited. But we're like, hey,
you got to camp in the back.
Yeah. So are we retaining those members? That's the other thing about this is retention doesn't just start when people want to leave. And maybe that needs to be like a big thing right there. Retention doesn't start when people are leaving. Retention starts when I was all freaked out. I saw the little private chat.
No, he's giving a time checks because I asked him to do that because I had this theory that you and I were pretty passionate about this particular topic and may kind of go on and on and on and on. So I was like, give us time checks.
Yeah. I just was like, oh my God, what did we do wrong?
Nope, you're fine.
Okay. Go ahead.
Iskirth points out we absolutely price out a certain percentage of our population. That's not where he does drive people away.
Yeah.
And
it's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
You can't, you have to go, I was there once. I didn't have that money. When did I start playing? What did I have? How did I get what I had? Did somebody buy it for me or did I have to buy it myself? Did somebody make it for me or did I have to make it myself?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And when we talk about, like, there's a big gap as well, I think, that sometimes, because that actually brings up a thing right there too. Like, did I make it or did someone make it for me? Okay, so we talk about that a lot. If you can't make it for yourself, network and have somebody make it for you. Having somebody make something for you without money involved takes a lot of social collateral. A lot. Yes. And as an artisan who has absolutely made things for people and have gotten burned because they either never come back or the trade-off didn't happen, man, it doesn't take long before you're like, I cannot emotionally and monetarily continue to do that. I cannot continue to outfit brand new people all the time when they only come to an event or 2 events and then they never come back. But the, $200 worth of linen and silk that I help with them because I was excited that they wanted to be here is never coming back.
Yep.
So I think that's another big disconnect. Again, the whole, we'll trade with somebody. Well, okay. One, are we helping them create those networking skills? Are we helping them saying, hey, I'm Fia. Let me introduce you to my friend over here. Now you can talk to them about trading paper dollars for some garb and see how that works out. But there's enough of the bad stories of it not working out that some people, especially if you've been here for a while, you kind of burn out. So then when we get that negative connotation as well, nobody ever wants to help me out with garb. They only want to help their friends. Okay, I get you. But what you're seeing is 10 and 15 years of friendship of, oh, girl, I got you. I got 4 yards of red linen. Yeah, sure. You can totally take it. Just get me next time. No big deal. And if I never get that red linen back, it's fine. Because I know next time I need some blue silk, I'm gonna be like, man, you got blue silk? Yeah, of course I got blue silk. I just don't want to order. I got an emergency. Like, how often does that happen?
Quite often.
But that's, again, years of networking. So when we tell people, when we tell new people specifically, oh, just network, trade, do things like that. Are we facilitating that network? Are we helping them to make those connections? Or are we just expecting that they'll basically cold call to get a favor from someone?
Yeah. And cold calling, I mean, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. Sometimes amazing things happen with like,
sure.
Hey, I got your number from so-and-so. They told me to call you because I need help with pants and I'm going to Estrella in a week.
Sure.
Can you help me? Like, been there and been the recipient of a cold call, but luckily it was somebody I actually knew from high school who happened to be playing out of Kingdom at the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard to expect, especially people who are new to the game, to kind of step out of their comfort zone and do that. Where it's easier for me to grab so-and-so, bring them over. Fia, this is my friend Jane. Jane does XYZ, but wants to learn how to do Rust garb. Can you help teach her or give her resources or maybe work a bargain trade monetary exchange?
Right. So we're facilitating that right there, that social collateral. I am speaking on behalf of this person I know, and I am introducing them to you, or you're introducing them to me, and you're saying, I am vouching for this person. Can you help them? And I it's funny that you say it like that too, because I made this decided switch a couple years ago where unless we swap bodily fluids or there's a special thing going on, I very rarely will make something for someone just to make something for someone. Will I absolutely teach you how to do it and hold your hand every single step of the way? I will 100% will. But when we also talk about this, like we forget things like I talk about the trade-off between time and money. So His Grace Floki one time asked in our kingdom, like, if you had unlimited access to everything you need, what is stopping you from making your dream garb? And I was all, it's just time. It's 100% time for me. Because at that point in my SCA career and in my personal career, I absolutely could buy the $20 a yard silk or save up for the $50 a meter wool for my whatever. Like, I could do that. I was in a financial position. I could do that. I could absolutely buy the reproduction shoes. I could buy as many temple rings as I wanted. The problem was I had a trade-off. And I tell everybody this, the deal is time or money. If you don't have the time, you need to have the money. And if you don't have the money, you need to make the time. And unfortunately, even and especially when you start in the SCA, time or money is absolutely the name of the game, because if you don't have the time, if you're new, then you need to have the money, unless you're having somebody help you. Or conversely, we start making it a little bit more welcoming for when you don't have either.
Which really, that's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Is the SCA needs to be more welcoming to people who don't
Sure.
have the time and don't have the money, and be more
Yeah.
accepting and allow grace.
Grace. Yep. Like and I think it's different for you and I because we absolutely come from a small kingdom. You know, on a good year, we've got over 900 people in our kingdom. So for us to see a newcomer, everybody know who's the newcomer are.
We get all giddy and excited, and
yeah. Well, and we know who we instantly know there's a newcomer at this event because I'm like, who's that person? I never seen a person. Do you know who that person is? I got no clue. Right. So it's a little bit different for us, but in bigger kingdoms and or especially bigger events, you know, it's easy, and I hate saying it this way, but it's easy to pinpoint a new person by how they are dressed. We all know it. And, you know, we're all guilty of that. What are they wearing? Oh, look at you. I hope you're wearing sunscreen under that chainmail bikini because, oh, honey. But
been there, done that.
Right. But are we at that point, like, so two things that we air out there too as well. Are we being those people who automatically go up and start to lecture them about why that's not appropriate to wear at SCA?
I think unfortunately that does happen.
It does?
I know personally I absolutely do not, because I remember the first comments about my very first garb. And it was mortifying.
Yeah.
And I remember the comments people made about my sister's first garb when she played for a little bit. And that was terrifying. Like, I'm like, did you say that about my sister? Now I'm going to have to kick your butt.
Yeah.
Like,
now it's fight time. I'm not going to take my earrings out. We just going to do it. We're going to do it.
Yeah. We're going to do it. And it's going to be like, you know, Greco-Roman wrestling, and you're going to not get up.
And is that hard for people? Absolutely. It's difficult because, you know, as much as we want to be like, oh, we play historically accurate game. Come on now. Like, that's another thing about the SCA. Yeah, we need to back up on that. Like, we play historically accurate-ish. We play our own little version of historical accuracy. And it's okay. Again, remember, the SCA is not for everybody. Yeah.
Creative.
Sure. But again, the SCA is not for everyone, and that's okay. That's really okay. And if we have people who don't necessarily want to get into that level of retention, I read the word, that level of historical accuracy, we need to not drive them away. Because that's another thing that I love about the SCA is that, man, there is space for all of us. There is absolutely space for the chainmail bikini. And there is space for the, I have a pretty princess dress that I bought off Amazon. And there's space for somebody who's only been sewing for a year, and space for somebody who's been doing it for 15 years.
Definitely.
The greatest part about this game, or that I think one of the things the SCA strives to do so much better than some of the other reenactment games, is there's a place for everybody there. And what we need to do is we absolutely need to be a lot more welcoming for all of those levels. Again, retention doesn't start when somebody leaves. Retention starts the minute they start here.
Yeah. Jen Miller, aka Mistress Isabeau, or Excellency Isabeau, we need to encourage participation to the extent that they can and accept them for what they can do. Can we help them do better and learn more? Yes, but don't put down their best efforts.
Absolutely. Man, it took years to get to the accumulation of things that I have to play. So, and I know we talk about this a lot, man. And, you know, the whole, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Like, how about we start with, I'm so glad you came today. I'm so glad you came to the event.
I am thrilled that you're here. I've missed you.
Yeah.
Or I'm so
welcome.
excited to meet you.
Yes. Yeah. People will find their niche in the game. They will find Griffin Bourne says, there is room at the table. Yes. Unless you're a hateful, terrible person, and then, get the hell on out. I ain't got time for you. Yeah. No. Yeah. Mm-mm. I think that's part of that earlier thing is those people know we ain't done with. Yeah. We don't need to retain them. That's fine. But I think we absolutely, as a whole, as a society, and there are some people who are probably sitting here listening to this or may listen to it future who might get a little bit mad about it and say, well, I don't do that. I'm here to say that everybody has. Whether directly or indirectly, I am confident that I have indirectly been the reason that people have stopped playing this game, whether or not it was something that I said to them or just whatever.
Or
The
even
truth
a
is,
perceived notion.
a
Sometimes
perceived, yeah,
people have perceived notions that you are talking bad about them, or
yeah,
you, you know, are purposely avoiding them, or you
sure.
are, you know, out to get them. People come up with these feelings, and it's a
Oh yeah,
feeling, and they make it a truth in their mind and decide that they don't want to be around
sure.
because of that. And that's
Yeah,
not necessarily real. Like, if
nope.
sat down and talked about it, oh my gosh, so many problems could be solved.
And I think the other thing we need to recognize with that, and I want to talk about what she said in just a second too, is that it's all levels. It's all levels. I mean, I've been playing this game for 18 years, and I can tell you a real quick story. When I drove up to Montana, northern part of Artemisia, to go to Crown Tournament back in July, I drove all the way up by myself. It was one of the first events I'd gone to by myself. So my household, my girls, my apprentices, nobody was with me. I went by myself. Now, I had plans to go and meet their majesties at the time for dinner and hang out, because obviously we hadn't seen each other in person for almost 2 years. Through social anxiety, and I know people are like, Fia, you do not. Yes, I do. Crippling sometimes. Okay. I literally had a crying panic attack in my hotel room because I thought for sure nobody liked me, and that why am I playing this game? I should just go home. And that I wasn't welcome, and that this wasn't the place for me. So that's what I'm saying, is that sometimes, like you mentioned too, it doesn't have to be that I said something to somebody. Sometimes our brains get in the way, and man, look at the SCA. If we are not an entire collection of people who are socially awkward in so many ways, we are nerds playing dress up. Or nerds playing dress up.
Yep.
And some of us are nerdy jocks playing dress up. Like, come on now, let's back to that reality check where some people like, come on, guys. Like it is a thing. Yeah, I going back to a comment that was said when we were talking about those people that are hateful that we need to not retain. My wonderful apprentice said it right there, or my former apprentice,
Andrea Bala.
Miss Maysoon. Not only do we not need to retain those hateful people, they're an active threat to the retention of everyone else. They are, and that is absolutely something that I feel like we need to address. The SCA, unfortunately, doesn't have the best reputation when it comes to weeding those people out and or ensuring that they are not active members in this game. Have we seen a lot of the active flight of people who had those beliefs that may not have been very vocal about it during the pandemic because of keyboard warrior status that we all saw? Yep. Yeah, we did.
There was an exodus.
Yeah, there was. And sometimes it was sort of shocking and or kind of sometimes more of the, I had a hunch this whole time, and I appreciate you identifying yourself. I do think flat out that, and to be 100% honest, if you are listening and you are a power that be, do better. We are one of the last reenactment groups to take an active stand about it, and we were very slow to that, and we should have been first. We absolutely should have been the first to lead that of making our stance clear.
And not just powers that be.
Sure.
Everyone do better.
Absolutely. There is gosh, I can't remember. I did an interview last 2 weeks ago, I think, about consorts, and there was a lovely woman person that I met, and then I ended up making contact with them on TikTok afterwards, and they had used a statement. I thought it was, man, the best thing, and it was like the 1, 2, 3, and it was learn better, do better, play better. And I was just like, how great is that? How great is that? And is that not the best way to do it? Now,
learn better, do better, play better.
Yes.
That's like sticker worthy right there.
Right? Because that's the best part about the SCA is when we talk about there's room at the table, man, there's also room to make this game so much better than it is and has been before.
Definitely.
We're definitely at this tipping point of it could go either way. And there's so many of us who are in it and want to see it succeed, want to see it. But again, how many times are people leaving because we won't take that hard line?
Quite often, unfortunately.
And unfortunately, that also means that a lot of middle of the, yes, I think it was Bones. Checking my TikToks. If you don't TikTok with me and Rahmut, I don't even know what you're doing. Why are you not TikToking? If you're not TikToking with us, just don't even know how to tell you. I'm sure I can find it. But anyway, I think it was Bones.
I believe it.
I
Bones,
have a moment.
We need
if
to,
you're
we
there.
need to make stickers. Bones.
Yeah. No, it was the greatest things ever. And I think I want to say this. It was about love the SCA TikTok. Yeah, absolutely. You didn't. The person who just messaged me, you didn't. You're fine. I got a message on the site and I could read a little bit. I'm like, you didn't. You're okay. I promise. You're fine.
No worries.
No, all good. I think the other thing going back, did I just lose my train of thought? Remember back in the beginning when I said, I think one of the things that a lot of people in the SCA are already here too is that this game's not for everybody and that's okay. And people need to remember that. I think another thing, and Woo brought it up in one of their TikToks, right? It's Woo, right?
Yep.
When your TikTok name is not your SCA name, it's like Lucky something. I just type it in and it comes up with them. And I think this is a thing as well. Just because my experiences are different than your experiences does not negate yours nor mine. Just because your experience in the SCA has been different than my experience doesn't mean yours are any less or more valid than my own. And again, this goes back to the SCA needs to stop getting its feelings hurt when we're not doing it right and or when someone chooses to no longer play with us.
Yeah.
Just... Am I mean? I told you this was anti-retention. It's not really even anti-retention. No. It's more like, if you want to retain people, let's find out why they're leaving.
Yes. And
let's fix
100%.
Why they're leaving.
You know, pay Gallup to send out a survey, completely anonymous. Boom. This person's membership was not renewed. Survey sent. Bam. Yeah. Get that information.
Because it especially like, and I know that people are going to say, well, you know, we have officers in our kingdoms. We have, you know, excellencies and we have king and queens. Okay. They are not the only people who are responsible to retain people.
No,
they're not.
No,
okay?
Not at all.
Conversely, I also want to absolutely say this because this is one of those things that I actually will war against as well, where I will say it. Everybody's a shadow lane. No, everybody's not.
There are some people
that
may not be best suited to play that role because sometimes they're kind of like kryptonite.
Sure. And also that's a big, heavy burden to expect a lot of people. Again, remember, nerds playing dress up. Socially awkward nerds playing dress up. And now you want us to go over automatically and inundate the new people and be like, what's up, guys? I'm Fia. I'm a level 27 paladin.
Not everybody is a weaponized extrovert.
Not everybody is a weaponized extrovert is the best thing. That's great. It's true.
There are people that you can go, hey, there's a new person. You go talk to them. And they're perfect for the job.
Oh, Lash, whoever that is, I'll fight him for you. I will. Lash said, oh no, apparently it was Justin.
Oh no.
Well, I'd pay to see that fight. I'm just here to say that. I got money on it. Lash, I will bring bacon.
You know, I can't bring bacon because I burn bacon every time I make it. But
oh, girl, if you're not making it in an air fryer, I don't know what to tell you.
You and me after the show, we gotta talk.
Just saying, talk to people. The truth that is, if you're not making your bacon at home, obviously in an air fryer, just live your best life.
Oh God, I need to live my best life, Thea. We gotta talk later.
Every damn day, bacon at my house every day.
I learned from Excellency Penelope how to bake it in the oven, and it turns out good if I have a timer set, and I like slightly undercook it because it continues to cook after you pull it out.
Yeah, no.
But generally,
how long does it take? Totally not a retention thing, although bacon is absolutely something that makes the SCA go round in a lot of circles, not all, in a lot of circles. If you partake of bacon, oh my gosh, if you've never gotten drunk and then had midnight bacon, I don't even know how to help you.
Well, they're not in Artemisia, right?
I know, right? It's such a thing we do here. I know.
All right.
Okay, that's not retention. Anyway.
Well, I mean, it could be retention if you're led by your belly and midnight bacon.
And or nachos. If you don't have drunk nachos at war at 2:00 in the morning.
You're speaking my language. But
that's how we do it.
Back to
retention.
Yeah. So
bacon is a powerful motivator to retain. It true. Yes.
It is.
In some
and
way,
the extrovert can use the bacon as a luring tool technique.
Okay, but to be fair, and I actually like this flat out. It's not even just bacon is a powerful motivator to retain. Hospitality is a powerful motivator to retain. How are we helping our new people? I mean, Rahmut, you know this for sure. Like my house and I, we will absolutely, if we are at an event, we have a table full of stuff. We have food galore. We have food, we have beverages, we have everything. And we have absolutely made it very clear in Volchestaya, come to war in Artemisia and find Volchestaya. You'll never want to leave. It's true.
Volchestaya will make sure you've eaten, do a wellness check. Have you had water? Are you drinking enough water? When was the last? No, May soon. She got on me. And I
know she will. She tries to get on me too. It don't really work.
When was the last time you went to the bathroom?
Yep.
Like important things that you just don't think. But if you do happen to go by Volchestaya, I'm just going to say they always have some amazing spreads. Like it's always beautiful and delicious.
and we've made a rule, honestly, if it's on the table, you are welcome to partake of it. Like I will tell this absolutely true story. So we had Defenders tournament here in Loch Solon, I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Where our household was at, we just happened to be near where all the arts and science judging was at, because Laurel Maysoon is also the MOAS for that barony. And I don't know if people just sort of assumed that our table of food was part of the judging or just what you got as a reward after you finished judging. We had so many people just come over and randomly be like, oh, is it okay? We were like, yeah, of course. Yeah. Like, who are you? I don't even know. Random newcomers came over and like, is this just like the hospitality table? Is this like for everybody? We're like, yeah. Please help yourself. Don't please have some food, please. Absolutely. But again, that retention starts before somebody leaves. What are we doing as a society to welcome people and to help them into it? Do they know that they should probably be bringing snacks during the day? Do they know that? Have we made that clear? Have we made that available for them? Pre-pandemic, one of the things in our kingdom that I loved all the time was that we used to always have like the beverage bar, right? The beverage table. We would always have coffee, hot water available. We'd have an assortment of teas, hot cocos, all the things that you could do.
Sometimes
juices, things like that. But it was available for everyone. Mm-hmm. And sometimes just knowing that you can go and get a drink and kind of water cooler talk and be included was just like a magical experience. We are providing an inn. Please come have a drink with us. Please come would you like some coffee? Would you like some water? Would you like some juice? What can we give you? Mm-hmm. We've got some snacks over here. Are we doing that type of hospitality? What are we ensuring that we are offering in order to entice people to come back? We had a bunch of new people that came to Defenders, and I mean a lot of new people, because it was one of the first events we had in Utah. Mm-hmm. We had people come up from a college. They drove like 4 hours to come to the event. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like tons of, Her Excellency Varia, which is a Baroness in Arnhold for here in Artemisia, she talked about how she spent the entire day talking to newcomers. Man, I got dragged into a couple of those conversations as well and spent a lot of my time hanging out, retaining people's name, all that stuff. But now here's the next part. Are we following up with those people to see if they're going to come back?
Follow up is key, just like anything else. Hey, I'm interested in this house. Oh, you are? Let me get your information.
Sure. Are we
doesn't call me.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a newcomer, and that is what are we doing as a group to now further that conversation? And it's just as much as the, hey, this is Excellency Fia. You came to an event last weekend. I'm just calling to check in to see, did you have a good time? Letting you know that this is the next event that's going to be here local. If you're interested in coming, we tell them what the website is. We tell them first of all, we tell them. I know at some point, some places do have business cards. We need to get better at that.
Well, and this is my one big, I'm going to stop you there on the business cards.
All right.
I think the SCA does need to modernize. There was another episode of my Road to Retention discussion about the QRC codes.
Sure.
You know how handy a QRC to go to the website would be?
Oh, yeah.
Or a QRC to go directly to our Welcome to the Dream video would be? Like, that would be game changing. And it's technology for recruitment that is way necessary and way needed, and we're falling behind by not having it.
Absolutely. 100% absolutely. I mean, one, I remember talking about that. If we could start doing QRC codes for events, if you could go to an event and you could scan a QRC code right as you got there, that would give you information about the event, what's local to here, what the rules are, what time court is, and then we could update it in real time.
Mm-hmm.
And in that as well with retention, I think you're absolutely correct, because if the pandemic absolutely taught us anything, is that the SCA absolutely is 100% dragging its feet to move into the modern world. And what I mean by that is, how difficult was it for some kingdoms to get up and running in a digital universe? Obviously not everybody was down with it, and that's okay. And I'm glad that Duke Sean would say it all the time. I'm glad that it was something that I kept saying for all the time that I was the herald during the pandemic in our kingdom and running the whole thing. Like, virtual is not better than in person, but virtual is better than nothing.
Definitely.
Virtual was absolutely a lifeline for a lot of people. And let's be realistic, man. Sometimes virtual is sometimes watching an interview like this is the best you got. Especially if you live in a sparse out kingdom, or maybe you just don't have the means to go to an event right now. Or,
you don't have the money, but you have the time.
Sure. Again, time versus money, right? Time versus money. I can absolutely sit here and watch a million classes at RUM during shutdown at the Royal University of the Mid-Realm. I could attend how many other courts? How many times did I get people messaging me during the shutdown that they were from other continents tuning into our courts? Because we were one of the only kingdoms who were doing them on a schedule. We were doing usually 2 a month. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
But the SCA is absolutely slow to utilize those things. I mean,
and it's not just, the virtual. Yeah, virtual is a substitution when we can't have in person. Sure. And potentially a hybrid needs to be the future in some aspect.
Sure.
That has yet to be figured out yet. But when we talk about recruitment and we talk about youth and we talk about, different ages, we definitely need to look at how younger members play. And they play both in person, but they play online more than they play in person.
Yeah.
So
they do. And then what happens is, if we're not utilizing those sources, if we are not utilizing social media, I mean, we joke around about the TikToks, but please, if you are on the TikTok at all and you want to join in, like hashtag SCA talk, hashtag SCA story time, hashtag, Society for Creative Anachronisms. These are some of the things. And there's I would say probably there's about 20 of us who are
pretty dedicated.
Honestly, putting content out as much as possible and trying to do it and trying to be relevant and trying to, I mean, we're not taking over, but
there's at least 100 more that randomly will post stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. West Kingdom's got a pretty big TikTok. That's the other thing. Kingdoms aren't necessarily, but here's the thing. And I'm gonna sound old for a minute. If the young peoples are using the technologies and we ain't getting on it, then we're just gonna lose out to thems. You got to use the TikTok. No, but it's true. Because here's the draw. I can literally pay to play a video game for less money than I can pay to play the SCA. But if I don't have a virtual access, what's the draw? I mean, great. Yeah, I can hang out and drink with my friends. Man, I can sit here and do that with pajamas too. If we're not utilizing my SCA, absolutely is that is the hashtag that I think SCA in general. I'm watching chat as well. They said my SCA hashtag my SCA is the best one. It's true. That is one of the great best society-wide ones that they wanted us to utilize. And yeah, everybody's saying virtual was so valuable as a newcomer to get to know the personality of a kingdom and build a knowledge base from space safe. Brana, you were correct, man. Dana said the exact same thing. Sorry, Brana, I didn't mean to call you man. Pal. But these are methods that we can absolutely utilize. Again, retention just doesn't start when they leave. Are we creating content to help answer questions about the SCA ahead of time? How do you address somebody? Are there links to it? How do you identify the different stuff? We have tons of classes. Are we localizing them? And here's the other thing, and I'll flat out say it again for anybody in the bigger higher ups, man, corporate SCA, stop relying on the kingdoms to do it all. Stop relying on all of us to do it. We have
or facilitate and make it easier for everyone to do it.
Sure. And what I mean is, why do we not? And I know that we just got a brand new society social media officer, and they are on the TikToks because we are pals.
And she is one of the 20 posters that is constantly posting.
Absolutely.
And her videos are educational.
Yep.
They are entertainment as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
that's Rampant Sea Dog, by the way, if you're not following it. And I don't know how they spell it. It's Rampant Sea Dog is the society. That's their personal TikTok. They probably have a society one and or are getting close to getting a society one.
I think they're working on it.
Yeah, but again, not just why aren't we collaborating on those things? Why aren't we creating God, here we go, buzzwords again. Why aren't we creating a knowledge base for stuff like this in the SCA?
Online
because is the other. It's true.
You can put so much out there for, lasting time, but also then you can enhance it and edit it and make it better. You can always make it better.
Yeah, we have a handbook. How many people have actually read the handbook to the SCA? Okay. Yeah, years ago.
I had to review it in November when I got crazy ideas in my head.
Nerd. No, but so much of the SCA. No, it's okay. So much of the SCA is what we learn by experience and by going, right? Well, man, like that doesn't always work for some people, and maybe they just want to like see how it happens in real time. With the technology we have that we could absolutely utilize. Why are we not creating little 2-3 minute videos that is a knowledge-based suppository? That's not what I meant. Repository. Yes. There we go.
The other might not help you out as well.
I mean, it could. Yeah, but I mean, there again, why are we not creating these places that we are facilitating long-term play? I think the other big thing that flat out when we talk about bringing newcomers in and we talk about how it is fiscally, it's steep to play. What are we doing to help that? And to be fair, I'm not saying that you personally have to adopt a newcomer, but what if it was like, hey, things like, and this all has to be covered with legality and everything. What if you had an option when you were doing your online registration for an event? Would you like to donate to help pay for somebody's site fee?
Totally.
What if you were paying in cash and the site fee was $13 and they said, hey, instead of paying the $13, would you like to round up $2 in order to help pay for somebody, for a newcomer, something?
I'd do it. Because before I've done it just out of convenience, like, I know what a pain it is to keep ones. Go ahead and just keep the extra and put it down as a donation. Which, for the axe checkers, definitely a pain in the butt.
Sure.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
But why not? Why not help facilitate future?
Sure. Lash, you're right. Evie says even something as simple as digitizing fighter data and martial data. On tier does it. The fighter database with authorization is online, and it is one of the easiest things in the planet. Because if you're already on that database, you just have to go up and give them your name, and then they go, yep, and then you're done. That's it. You're good to go. Yeah. Yeah. But again, what are we doing in that way? I mean, how many people utilize the Amazon Smiles project, and they have SCA as their donation? I have it, and I get tickled whenever I get my quarterly email that says, your contributions, I shop on Amazon a lot. You contributed like $43 in the last 3 months.
Well, and some people work for businesses that allow you for volunteer hours to give a grant.
Yeah.
I know that every year, all my volunteer time that I do, I give a grant to the SCA because I know it helps somebody.
Sure.
So,
yeah,
I mean,
you can write that stuff off, by the way. Why? And that's another thing. Why are we not being more forthcoming with that information? Did you know that you can write off your mileage for the SCA because it's technically an education project? There are things that we can be doing to make the cost less prohibitive to people and to help them out. Iskir said, yeah, the corporation changed some of the rules that we could market outside the group. Yeah, man, when I first started playing, we absolutely could go to local businesses and see if we could get donations and whatnot. We absolutely could do that. And it's kind of gone by the wayside, and they don't like it as much anymore. Adopt a newcomer is a good idea. It is. I think that's another issue sometimes when we get shadow lanes. Like, first and foremost, let's be realistic, and we talk about this all the time. The SCA is a volunteer activity. Now, here's another thing that I'm going to say that people are probably going to like. The SCA is absolutely a volunteer activity.
Yep.
When you volunteer, there is an expectation that you will follow through. Yes. Do not volunteer if you are not going to follow through. Because I hate that. I'm sure I'm speak for a lot of other officers too. Like, if you say I'm going to do something, either do it or let us know ahead of time that you cannot. And again, there's nothing wrong. Yeah, there's nothing wrong if you cannot. But it is a volunteer organization that is run by volunteers. And if you fall through,
somebody has to pick up that ball.
Yep. The wheel's not going to keep turning unless we get another spoke in there. So,
and if it's last minute, 13th hour, sometimes it's the person who has too much already on their plate and now has to pick up that extra. And that's that one last straw on the camel's back that breaks.
Absolutely.
And then they peace out.
Yeah, man. And if you've been here for a long time, you've been that camel. You've literally been there. We've all been there where we've all had burnout. We've all had this thing, It's a thing. Dana said, adopt a newcomer is a good idea. When you register, maybe have an option to say, yes, I need assistance. I love that idea. I absolutely love that idea because me personally, with the amount of social anxiety I have, I am less likely to approach someone who looks like they are confused or need help because I don't want to be intrusive. I don't want to. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're just thinking about what they're going to have for dinner. Maybe they need to go to the bathroom. I don't know. But I probably will not approach somebody unless I am in a group of people and feel comfortable doing it. But if I know, hey, or if they say, it's nothing for me to go to gate and say, hey, did anybody check in who's new today who said they might need assistance? Can I check in with them?
Definitely.
Super great way to do that. I don't know.
I like that. But at the same time, giving that newcomer the option to say, I need assistance, or no, I don't. Because if you totally put on every newcomer a big flag that says, I'm new.
Right.
That is the wrong thing as well.
Like, I get that sometimes a lot of people with good intentions say, let's have a way that we can identify new people. How about no? Yeah. I am here to tell you that if I was a newcomer and they were like, oh, would you please wear this sash for the day so that everybody knows that you were new and they would offer assistance, I'm going to my car. Thank you very much. Nope. No. How about no? But if they say, hey, we have a couple people who would like to check in on you during the day to see if you need anything. Is it okay if we point them in your direction? Sure. Right?
Love that.
And then that creates that opportunity on both sides, because then as someone who's played this game for a long time, if I also have the spoons and the availability that day, because on any given event, man, I might have a million other things that I have to be doing.
You might be
with the responsibility.
You might be a lady in waiting. You might be in the middle of running a competition. You might be in the middle of being a consort.
I might just have my kids there.
You might just have family time.
might just not be able to give up a couple of hours to go do this. Or even I might be able to only manage a 10-minute block, or say, would you like to come sit with my group or something like that. But I think that's a good step right there. And that also, one of the other things that I think that we can do better about is, and this is a two-parter, so go with me, and I know we don't have a lot of time left, but creating opportunities for people to belong and for them to create their own sense of belonging. So let's talk about this whole big thing, because what is one of the big things that we hear all the time? The SCA is full of cliques.
We do hear that.
Okay. Is it cliques or is it friend groups that have known each other for 20 years?
I think it's a little of both, depending on the circumstance.
Can be, absolutely. So here's the problem with that, is that when we hear the SCA's cliques, first of all, people absolutely will always, as usual, get their feelings hurt. Okay.
Yes.
Which is always my question of, again, was it a clique? Was it a Mean Girls Club? Or was it just a group of friends that have known each other for 20 years? And guess what? They don't have to invite you to their house. Mm-hmm. They don't have to invite you to their private party. They don't have to invite you to camp with them. They don't. They are not required to and or expected to. Can we create spaces where people are welcome? Absolutely. Yes. I think that sometimes we end up with a culture of wanting to instantly belong and have that connection with a larger group of what we perceive as the cool kids club, right? I want to be in part of the cool club. I want to be part of the cool kids club. I want to be part of that. Man, we're
all nerds.
Nerds in dress up.
All nerds.
But they've been doing it a lot longer than I have, which means they have ties, they have bonds, they have been playing this since before they were, in college. That's okay. I have my own group of friends that I have created those bonds with, that some people have literally called us a clique and the cool kids club, which I just go, are you kidding me? Have we met? Do you know how much of a dork we are? And or please come eat food. Like, okay.
Please come.
But
eat.
Are we?
Get in the shade. You're going to burn. Do you have sunscreen
Please do the
on?
thing. Please come sit with us. No, but are we creating opportunities for people and or encouraging them to create their own sense of belonging?
I think probably that's the biggest lacking, is encouraging them to
exactly
create their own.
When we bring new people in, at least the way I bring somebody in, is I flat out tell them, hey, this is a thing. Now I need you to understand. This is not me being like, I'm so cool. But let me explain. I've been playing this game for over a decade, nearly 2 now. I've had a lot of really cool opportunities in the SCA, and in my kingdom, I'm pretty well known. So there is going to be a lot of people constantly wanting to talk to me, or a lot of things I'm going to be doing. You are always welcome to go with me. I will take you with me wherever I go, unless I tell you I cannot, and there will be a reason for it. I'm going to the royal room. You may not come with me. You are welcome to go wherever I go. I will introduce you to everybody I know. I will 100% take you with me around, because I am bringing you to this event. At some point, if you decide you are going to start playing, though, fly, little birdie. You need to start making your own places of comfort and acceptance and creating that welcoming atmosphere for yourself. But am I facilitating that by making sure these are my friends, these are the people, this is so-and-so, this is the other thing? And that kind of does fall into the everybody should be a shadow lane, as in, are we helping create those spaces for people in the capacities that we have to do?
Yes, in the capacity that we have to do.
Sure. Yeah. And not everybody's like that, and that's okay. Not everybody's like that.
And some people want to be like that and aren't like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they try.
I literally I am an ambivert, and I have situational extrovertedness, which is usually if I'm in a comfortable group, I will be the loudest, bubbliest person on the planet. And that's good Fia time. And that's actually, I would say, when people talk about the difference between Fia and Jenny, Fia is like that. Like Fia's like, whoa, check me out. Jenny is not. Jenny is like, what are you doing? Stop it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, seriously. Jenny gets embarrassed by Fia quite often. But But again, that's that limited ability that we have to create those situations. Again, retention doesn't start when someone leaves. Are we creating spaces for them to make their own, carve out their own spot in the kingdom?
Yep. We need
Because
to do
again,
better at it.
Yep. And again, I want to be very, 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 very clear. You individually are not responsible for whether or not another person chooses to stay in the game. You may help, you may assist, you may do all the things, but ultimately that individual has to decide for themselves if they want to play. And what's rule number 1? The SCA is not for everybody. That's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
And don't take it personally.
Don't.
Like, it's hard when sometimes it's a person who's been playing for a long time decides to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what did I do wrong? It's nothing you did wrong. It just wasn't their space.
And in some situations, yeah, man, there is going to be somebody who's at fault. And this is the other thing I will say, because, man, I left the SCA for 3 years. I know a lot of people have taken breaks.
And that's okay.
Knock on wood. Yeah, that's absolutely. And this is because this thing, knock on wood, the SCA will be there when you're ready. Sometimes the SCA is not for you, and sometimes you are not for the SCA. And it is okay if you recognize that right now the SCA is not your priority. And it's okay. It's really okay. Sometimes things in life aren't gonna,
family, medical bills, medical health issues.
Because that's another thing that I think we absolutely need to work on. When we say, when we say real life comes first, we have to mean it. We have to mean it. And what I say by that is how often we go, when somebody goes, oh, I can't do this event because of whatever reason. And everybody goes, oh, well, real life comes first. Like, we get it. Okay.
And then we all send the message about like, oh, we're going to miss you so bad.
Sure.
Not considering how guilty that makes that.
Are we respecting them? One of the biggest things for me mentally about this game is when I realized, I don't need an excuse for not attending an event.
Nope.
I owe my reasons to no one. If I choose not to go to an event, that is my choice. I am welcome at the table when I come back. But if I'm not going, man, I don't have to tell anybody why. I don't have to make something up. I don't have to give it, people absolutely can do that. But the SCA will be ready for me when I'm ready for it.
Yes.
So did we talk about retention? I feel like we talked about a lot of stuff.
We did. So
is it
at the end of my shows, I like to do a shout out, Fia, to somebody in the known world for whatever purpose I so choose.
Okay.
So today I want to give a shout out to his newly made Excellency Valgard in Meridies or Trimaris. Oh gosh, Val.
Yeah,
now he's got to be mad. In Florida. He's in Florida.
Trimaris.
I had it right the first time. So I wanted to do a shout out to him because he shared not only broadcasting videos from Gulf Wars the almost entire time and kept people in the loop, but he was recognized for being the incredible, awesome SCA person that he is.
Oh, excellent.
So that's my shout out. Do you have one, Fia?
Yeah, I mean, I know we've talked about it, but I will shout out to a group of people, and I will actually shout out to 2 groups. Number 1, I'm going to shout out to the SCA TikTokers, for really trying hard to bring the SCA to a platform where maybe we get told a lot that we're too old for it. Maybe we get told that this is not the place. Anybody who's trying their hardest to create content for that and make it available, like, keep doing it, because I know I'm going to keep doing it. And if we're not already, if I don't follow you, please message me so I can follow you, because I love TikTok. And then I'm going to actually give out a shout out to the people that are watching right now, and that's because what I would say that the reason you're here is because you care about retention. You care about making this game better. You care about making the SCA the best version it can be. And I appreciate you taking time to come listen to the words that I had to say and that Rahmut had to say, because we could sit and talk with each other all the time about this, but the fact that you all listened in gives me hope that and I don't mean this in the whole like Disney Simba moment thing. I do mean that.
She does mean it.
I do. No, I do. I appreciate you taking some time and coming to listen to us, because I really do, in the Disney moment, feel like that there are some very beautiful parts of the SCA that are worth fighting for, and that I do think we can absolutely learn better, do better, play better. I love it. I don't even care. I'm going to steal it.
I think Cal might be able to make some stickers happen if we,
right.
If that's cool.
Well, yeah. So I think so. But that's my shout out, is thank you for taking the time to come and listen to us talk, because I appreciate it.
Huzzah and vivat.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to us, because that means something. It's just, yeah, that's a gift in itself.
All
and
right.
I appreciate you all.
Well, now we're going to do some plugs here real quick, Fia. On 327 episode of Coffee with Cal is Perfection is Not Needed with Countess Gwen Stewart. It's going to be an amazing episode. Hopefully you guys can join in. And then on 328, we have a look inside Youth Activities, episode number 2, Youth Ministry with Dame Catherine.
Whoop, sorry.
And then coming up next on
TikTok,
Rahmut's Road to Retention, which I don't have the banner made yet for, because I'm really sorry, I will have Barrick Ulrich, and we are going to be talking about the importance of electronics in the SCA.
That's perfect.
So more of what we just touched on, and then some. So it'll be great. Now, if you want to support this show and others like it through KK Productions, you can go out to patreon.com/KK Productions and support us that way. Well, if that's not your cup of tea, but you really like merch, cool things like stickers, you can go to Redbubble and search KK Productions and find the Trauma Onion, which is the best ever sticker. If you want to see what Cal is doing on TikTok, you can check him at Kal-bardr. If you want to see what I'm doing at TikTok, you can check me out at Gina Kitts. If you want to see what Fia's doing, I don't have a banner for it, but it's at
Fia. Man, do you want me to type it? It's Fia_SCA life. I know.
Perfect.
I know.
You all have been an amazing audience. You have a bunch of comments and things that we will take into account for future shows. It has been a pleasure and an honor, and we thank you.
Before you stop, real quick.
Oh,
before you end, did you know this? Before you sign off, did you know that Cal also has a new show coming up that's in pre-production? Did you know that?
Ooh, are you supposed to drop it yet?
Well, my show, so I don't give a shit.
All right, drop it, Fia. Drop it like
no, seriously, Cal and I were talking about it. So Fia Says is actually going to be a show on Cal. Yeah, so stay tuned to KK Productions and you'll find out about Fia Says, a new series coming directly to you. Da da da!
I can't wait.
Anyway, thanks for having me, Rahmut.
Thank you for being a guest. Thank you, audience. You're amazing.
Yay.
Bye, everyone.